Usually big yachts have two engines, but there is the rare occasion when they don't. For example, this AZIMUT 55S. But is it an advantage or not? How do three engines maneuver? How efficient is the propulsion unit? Wouldn't two engines have been better? Well, here are the three engines. Volvo Pentas D6s, 435 horsepower each, with an IPS propulsion system. Contracting propellers that adjust here, right under the boat, and are pointed towards the bow. Usually no one looks at the structure of the boat, but let's have a look at how these ones are made. Carbon fibre for the walls, garage, supports and even the hull, closest to the pod. And then there are the trays under the cabins. How are we going to get out of here? Well, let's make a start. 1, 2, 3. 3 engines on. There's a joystick here that works independently for each of the 3 engines, and 3 propulsion systems that can turn independently of each other. For example, the right engine can turn to the left and get in gear going forward, and the left engine can turn right when reversing. And the third? What do you think? This would be really difficult if there wasn't a joystick. I'd need a third hand to manage the 3 engines. And the precision of a Swiss clock. I can control 100 horsepower and direct it wherever I want. Brilliant. And now we're out of the harbour, we can really appreciate this boat. It's so beautifully designed. I wonder if the designer started with form or function. Look at the side window, it doesn't stop. And it seems as if it's just too good to look at. But it works too. In fact, from inside you can see everything. I really like the slant of the deckhouse. Again, you may think it's just to look pretty, but it really protects the cockpit, so you can barbecue when it rains. And if it's sunny, well, there's the shade. Now, let's go up to the bow where I can show you something quite original. The Opera Viva, which is the part of the hull that touches the water. It slants, rightly so. Above though, the straight line has been sculptured by the designer with a pretty clean vertical cut, on which there's a shield that has inserts in inbox and carbon. The design isn't just there to be pretty. In fact, under there's a crew cabin. The bow bridge has a sun area with headrests, and that's not all. There's even a sofa. And this is a lovely idea that you usually don't find on a 55-footer. Let's go back to the bow. Here's something that's very practical. Here's the beach and the garage, and the slider for the tender, all moved electrically, even the sun deck. The living area and cockpit are one, and the open space that welcomes up to 12 guests on board. Don't be frightened of getting the fabrics wet. In fact, they've been put here on purpose. They're the same as outside. This chair next to the pilot's chair adapts to become an integral part of the living area. The kitchen is impeccable. It's got everything, including a view. Makes me wonder what the captain's quarters will be like. There's a fantastic view from here too. The bed is in diagonally. As well as the usual wardrobes, there are many other compartments for clothes. And how sweet is this? Tea for 2. So we've had a look at the captain's quarters, which obviously has a private bathroom, but on the AZIMUT 55S, they've also found space for 2 couchettes and a double cabin at the bow. Both have views. How, I hear you ask? On a 55-footer with 3 engines? Well, obviously the AZIMUT engineers perform miracles. And it's time to get comfortable. And put my foot down. Each engine has 2 propellers, and there are 3 engines, so in total we're being pushed forward by 6. And there's a big difference in comparison with a traditional boat that has 2 engines and 2 propellers. It's like comparing a car with 2 motorised wheels and one with 6. Have you ever seen a 6-wheel drive vehicle? Well, we've even tried one. It's got fantastic traction. To compensate for the speed, I need to lower the flaps in order to be able to see well enough. We're well protected here if we come across bad weather, but on a lovely day like today, it lets you feel the wind too. With 3 engines, the noise, the vibrations, and even consumption should be way more than the average 2-engine boat. But then again, consumption depends on cylinders, turnover, horsepower, and how efficient the propulsion system is, which in this case is very high, more than 20% higher than a traditional shaft. At 20 knots, noise levels are at 66 dBA, pretty quiet. All 3 engines are synced at 2,500 revs a minute, and vibration? Let's try and balance a camera here. That's pretty stable, no? The picture's not wobbly. I'd say that was pretty good. And what happens if we go as fast as we can? Well, that's that. We're at, well, that's strange. We haven't got to the maximum yet. 2,850 revs a minute. Here we go, 2,900 and a speed of, wow, 20 knots. Not much for a 17-metre boat with 1,305 horsepower. I don't think that Volvo or Azimut would be too happy with that. So let's turn on the 3rd engine. Now we're cooking. That's more like it. This is a sporty boat. The engines have reached top speed and we're going 35 knots. But we still don't know what happens when we all of a sudden push the bar. This is something we definitely shouldn't do, especially as other boats can't predict it. So they could find themselves in difficulty, and it could even cause an accident. But we need to do it because it helps us understand how we are doing at the helm and how it's interpreted by the boat, i.e., does it faithfully mirror our commands? Oh yes, very good. It has a narrow hull with deep V, which serves to go fast, as well as when it's choppy, and to hold the route. I wanted to try it out because I just love the lines of this boat, but also because I wanted to see how it did with 3 engines. So now we know that the joystick maneuvers all 3 perfectly, and we've seen that it has a high dynamic efficiency. Plus, we've discovered that in terms of engines, it only needs 2. The 3rd is just a spare. Who needs more than that?